Opening meant, in the silence of the night, where shadows whisper and truth bleeds slowly, a single mistake can cost a life. This is not just a story of crime. It is a record of obsession, power, and the price of loyalty. In a world where silence is more dangerous than screams, one man hunts and another becomes the hunted. Welcome to K-Spy Thriller, where every breath could be your last. Episode 23, Code Name Black Snake's Inspection. Chapter title: The Black Snake's Inspection. Late at night, under a thin crescent moon, slipping in and out of drifting clouds, the outskirts of an abandoned industrial zone lay silent. Hyena staggered into his hideout, having barely escaped the red light district. The moment he stepped inside, an eerie chill crept through the air. Something's wrong, this cold, this killing chill. He pulled a handgun from his pocket, and cautiously stepped deeper inside the factory, just as he sensed movement ahead and prepared to fire. Click. The lights suddenly flicked on. His vision flared white, as he raised a hand to shield his eyes. He saw someone sitting calmly with legs crossed. It was Black Snake. Even after all this time, the overwhelming aura he radiated had not faded. That pressure, that presence, a veteran of countless battles. Hyena hurriedly lowered his gun. Whoosh! A swift kick slammed into his face. Before he could recover, another kick spun him sideways, sending him crashing to the floor. Thud, thud, thud. Someone mounted him and began striking his face mercilessly. Damn, that hurts, that fist so heavy. Comrade Jang Eun-yang. That's enough. A tall woman stepped back and stood neatly beside Black Snake. Call sign Jang Eun-yang. An NIS agent embedded deep within enemy ranks, standing beside Black Snake. Hyena forced himself upright and dropped to his knees. Late at night, the operations chief himself had come for an inspection. This was no ordinary visit. "Do you know who I am?" Black Snake asked coldly. "Yes. Where have you been wandering off to?" "I had urgent business." "Urgent business? I heard you were seen in the Yongsan Red Light District." Was that true? Or not? I've committed a sin worthy of death. Hyena slammed his forehead to the floor. Step, step. Black Serpent walked over and slapped Hyena across the face. Hyena pretended to collapse weakly, but Black Serpent crushed his face against the floor with his boot. Even a killing machine like Hyena couldn't resist when facing his superior. "We're not on the same level. This man is on a different plane entirely." Blood trickled from the corner of Hyena's mouth. Black Serpent kicked his ribs without restraint. "Enjoying yourself, fool? Drowning in southern women again?" I apologize. You've changed. You've grown soft. Does pleasing your flesh feel that good? I'm sorry. Sorry? You dare say sorry? Why commit the sin in the first place? I deserve death. If you're of no use to the revolution, we might as well cut you loose. Isn't that right? The cane tapped deliberately against Hyena's most vulnerable spot. Please forgive me. Hyena trembled violently, unable to move. The pressure was absolute, he couldn't even raise his head. Black Snake stared down at him coldly, and pressed his foot against Hyena's neck. Your belly's grown soft. You've forgotten your mission. Then, with a sharp twist, the handle of the cane rotated. A hidden blade slid out with a metallic snap. You were supposed to be dead back in the north. A man who escaped execution. Please spare me. I thought you might still be useful. But you've rotted to the core. Please spare my life. The blade hovered at Hyena's throat, trembling faintly. One more inch and it would pierce flesh. Remember this, you bastard. Go and eliminate the traitor first. Prove your loyalty to the party. The blade slid back into the cane. Black Snake's voice was final. Hyena straightened his posture and snapped to attention. Yes, I will risk my life and carry it out. He saluted sharply. Autopsy room. The sedan carrying Daybomb and Junte sped toward the National Forensic Service. They waited in the adjoining room next to the autopsy chamber. Daybomb greeted the forensic doctor. Go. Doctor, this is terrible news again. Yes, it truly breaks my heart as well. There are bruises all over the body. More extensive than what we saw on director Kim Bom-jun. These bruises, they're not the direct cause of death, are they? No. Bruises occur while the victim is alive. But they are not the immediate cause of death. Question mark. These marks appear to be from repeated whipping. When a blow is delivered with force, the blood vessels compress and rupture, causing bruises to form on both sides of the impact. Then how hard must he have been beaten? If the impact is strong enough, bleeding can spread extensively even after death. These bruises are spread quite widely. Gravity causes the blood to pool downward over time. The colors of the bruises vary. That's due to hemoglobin breakdown. They start red, then turn dark blue, brown, green, yellow and finally fade. There are bruises near the shoulder blade too? That happens when the attacker straddles the victim and strangles him. Pressure is applied to the shoulders. That can be used as evidence, right? Absolutely. Bruises are highly valuable circumstantial evidence. The skull was crushed. Yes. The skull was fractured from blunt force trauma, with internal bleeding. It's consistent with a severe head injury. So he was beaten to death? It appears so, most likely with a blunt object. Possibly a metal rod. Was he strangled as well? The larynx is damaged, and both sides of the thyroid cartilage are fractured. Damn it, that bastard. I'll make sure he faces justice. There's also damage to the hyoid bone beneath the jaw. That indicates intense pressure to the neck. Damn monster. In cases of suffocation, petechial hemorrhages often appear like this. If pressure lasts over 15 seconds, congestion and pinpoint bleeding occur. Was poisoning a possibility? That was the first thing I checked. In poisoning cases, there's usually a distinct odor when opening the skull. There was none this time. Toxicology tests are ongoing, but preliminarily, no. Why examine the skull before the abdomen? If the abdomen is opened first, the chemical odors can mask what's detected in the skull. That's why we proceed this way. There's bleeding around the ears too. That often happens when there's blunt trauma to the head. The dead really do tell stories. That's our duty, to listen to the final words of the dead. We owe them that respect. I'm grateful, Doctor. And this time the killer bit him again. Again? Yes. Just like before. He left bite marks, distorted teeth impressions. So if we compare them, we'll know for sure. The spacing, size, and abnormal structure of the teeth all match. These two victims were killed by the same person. So once we compare them, we'll have him. That's correct. Several agents nodded silently as they listened. In the red light district, agents moved through the area, questioning people while showing photos of hyena. Plainclothes officers were mixed. Among them, ready to intervene if jurisdictional issues arose. Have you seen anyone who was with the man in this photo? Looks like Yun Kyung's regular. Yun Kyung's regular? You mean her husband? Oh, no, not that. I mean a guy who comes around often, like a regular customer. Where is he now? Try 7th Street. Over there. The officers followed the directions and moved toward 7th Street. Yun Kyung? Are you Yun Kyung? The woman stepping outside froze in surprise. Her face tightened the moment she realized the police were looking for her. What is it now? Why are you bothering me? What did I do? You don't know? Let's not play games. There's a homicide investigation underway. We'll need you to come with us voluntarily. A murder? What does that have to do with me? Has this man been here recently? They showed her hyena's photo. She hesitated, then sighed as if resigned. Yes, he comes by sometimes. He's a regular. Let's go somewhere quieter and talk. Do I really have to? If you cooperate, we'll help you out when things get complicated. Fine. Let's go. They took her to the nearest Yongsan police station. Yun Kyung looked uneasy, clearly unfamiliar with interrogation rooms. Inside, team leader Kong and his team observed from behind the glass. When did he start coming to see you? Not that long ago, maybe since last year. How many times? 3 or 4. Only that many? Did he do anything unusual? He paid well. Double, sometimes triple and he was kind of strange. How so? He recorded my moaning sounds. Recorded them? While having sex? Yes. I caught him twice. And? He was a regular, and he paid well, so I let it slide. Anything else? He bites me every time. Bites you? Where? My butt. He calls it my sticky rice butt. He bites you hard? It hurts a little, but I could take it. So hard that it leaves bite marks? Yes. His teeth are ugly too, it really hurts. But somehow, the pain turns into pleasure. Ugly teeth? His? Yeah. If he got them fixed, he'd look better. Sometimes they even look like fake dentures. Daebom nodded slowly. Dentures? Not implants? That's what I thought. And you didn't tell him to stop biting you? He treated me like his M&A. What does that mean? He said I reminded him of his M&A, so he called me that. Emina means woman in North Korean dialect. Did he seem North Korean? He said I made him feel warm and comfortable like his M&A. May we see the bite marks? We need them for the investigation. What? You want to see my butt? Are you cops perverts? We're not asking here. He's a murder suspect. Please cooperate. A murderer? He didn't seem like one. He was generous. He bites his victims after killing them. Really? So that's why he did that to me? Yes. It seems to be a habit. I thought it was affection. Can you show us the marks? It's important. If it helps, then fine. Detective Kong gestured toward another officer. Detective Choi. Yes. Have Detective Choi take her inside. Get clear photographs for evidence. Detective Choi guided her gently, calming her. This way, Ms. Yun Kyung. After the photos were taken, they returned. Thank you for cooperating today. This is a small travel allowance, official compensation for assisting a national investigation. Thank you. Suho, send these photos to Dr. Ko at the forensic lab immediately. We're heading there. To the forensic lab? If the bite marks match, we'll need to proceed with a facial composite. The engine roared. Daebom sped toward the National Forensic Service with Suho. Please let the bite marks match the ones on the body. He prayed silently. Please, you bastard. Let us catch you. Please. Ending meant, in the end, truth does not scream. It waits. It waits in scars, in silence. And in the memories no one dares to erase. What you witnessed was not just a story. It was a fragment of a hidden war, still unfolding in the shadows. This series is based on the finalist work of the Proud Korean Scenario Contest, a story born in Korea, now expanding into a global K-spy universe. The hunt is not over. Stay with us. The next chapter is already watching you. Episode 24 Opening narration. In the shadows of the city, truth never walks alone. Last time, the hunt intensified. A superior officer emerged from the darkness. Hooksa, the black snake, with a cane sword gleaming in the dim light. He reminded Hyena of a simple truth: you were already a dead man in North Korea. The forensic lab worked through the night. Bite marks. 3 victims. 1 killer. In the red light district, a woman named Yoon Kyung spoke of a man who called her Emine, a North Korean term. A man with deformed teeth. A man who recorded her moans and bit her every time. The evidence was sent. The profile was building. But tonight, everything converges. The bite marks match. The blood type is confirmed. The composite sketch is complete. And in a quiet hospital room, another truth begins to surface, one that will shatter everything we thought we knew. This is K-Spy Thriller. Welcome to episode 24, The Bite Mark Match and the Spy Family's Secret. Episode 24 Hyena's Bite marks the tragic spy family of Sang-wook. National Forensic Service small conference room. Dr. Go, wearing a yellow jade hairpin, was in conversation with a forensic odontologist. Photographic charts were spread across the table. A moment later, team leader Daebom and Suho entered. Detective Ma was already there. Good afternoon. Welcome. Oh, Detective Ma, you're here too? What, am I not allowed to come? That's not what I meant. You're one of the most important people in our investigation. So I'm glad to see you. Well, that's good to hear. As he greeted them politely, Kong Daebom gave drive. Go a subtle wink that no one else noticed. No one suspected they were lovers. And that secret made their hidden romance all the sweeter. Welcome, both of you. Did you receive the photos we sent? Yes, I did. So? What are the results? You remember how I told you the killer, who left bite marks on Kim Bom-jun's body, was the same person who murdered director Jang Jin-woo? Yes, I remember. The bite marks found on Yoon Kyung's buttocks at the Yongsan Red Light District match the same individual. Really? Wow, if we catch him, this is huge. Daebom and Suho exchanged stunned looks. The dental impressions taken from both Victims are an exact match to the bite marks found on Yoon Kyung. Wow, if we catch this guy, everything starts to unravel. The perpetrator has abnormal teeth, malocclusion, unusual size, spacing, alignment. They're nearly identical. Phew. At this point, we can assume he's not Korean. Possibly someone from a Chinese border region with poor medical access, or North Korean. Or maybe from Southeast Asia. Or someone so impoverished he never received orthodontic treatment. With teeth like that, most people would have had them corrected. You're saying he never even considered it? Yes. That's our assessment. We should preserve this dental analysis carefully. Of course. I mentioned this before, didn't I? What did you say? In 1979, in the case of American serial killer Ted Bundy, abnormal dental structure became the decisive evidence. Ah, yes. I remember. Now what's important is identifying the motive. Everyone nodded. Daybom looked toward Detective Ma, who specialized in crime scene investigations, in murder or arson cases. If we can't identify the motive, the investigation stalls. Exactly. Have you figured out the motive? It's too broad, far too broad. We can't narrow it down yet. In murder cases, there's usually a motive: revenge, jealousy, something. That's why we're still investigating. Dr. Go pulled out another document. We recovered the suspect's blood type from a discarded cigarette butt. Blood type? He was smoking with the woman named Yoon Kyung. We managed to collect the cigarette butt. Impressive. The suspect's blood type is B. So, a man with blood type B and severely malformed teeth? That's correct. Detective Ma smiled slightly and added more information. We're currently working on a composite sketch based on Yoon Kyung's testimony. A composite? Yes, that'll be helpful. The face is coming together clearly. The suspect has a straight horizontal wrinkle across his forehead. A straight wrinkle? I've heard of palm lines. But forehead lines like that are rare. The radio report also mentioned a male, about 170 centimeters tall with a straight forehead wrinkle. Then we might catch him soon. I hope so. But we still don't have a clear lead on the vehicle he used. Nothing yet? We're tracking a taxi used near the Gangnam Leon room salon. Once we locate it, we'll trace its GPS route. But the vehicle hasn't turned up. Nothing in the vehicle tracking system either? The taxi was reportedly rented privately for a week. We're checking all roadside CCTV footage. Did the car fly away or sink into the ground? How can it just disappear? To gather clues, we may need to conduct profiling investigations. But we're still lacking direction. Profiling? There's relational profiling and geographical profiling. Everyone fell silent. Then team leader Daybom spoke. I'll help narrow down the relational profiling. Actually, we will. How? Well, we'll narrow that scope for you. You will? How? I was going to keep this confidential. But both the suspect and the victims are connected to the National Intelligence Service. What? The NIS is directly involved? Both director Kim Bom-jun and director Jang Jin-woo were former high-ranking NIS officials. That explains it. But what exactly did they do at the NIS? I'm afraid that's classified. If everything is classified, the investigation can't move forward. Even so, it's sensitive intelligence. That's why the NIS will handle this part directly. Daybom frowned slightly, clearly conflicted. Sang-wook brought his mother, who had come to Seoul, after a long time, to Warung Hospital in Gangnam. It was a large hospital known for performing some of the best spinal disc surgeries in the country. They met Chief Physician Jang Yulseon. Doctor, have the MRI results come out? Our hospital's MRI scans are on a completely different level. Where did you take these scans? At Haesong Hospital in Guangdong District. We can't even properly read these images here. If these are divided into 9 sections, ours are divided into 13. Simply put, these are substandard. Oh, but it's a fairly large hospital. So what should we do? What do you think? You need to redo the scan. Can't you just look at it as it is? No. The doctor cut him off bluntly. They say a single word can repay 1,000 debts. But this guy talks like he's chewing trash. Sang-wook swallowed the curse rising in his throat. Annoyed but with no choice, he took his mother to a nearby affiliated hospital to redo the scan. Bastards, can't you show some mercy to a patient in pain? Your L4 and L5 were operated on about 17 years ago. Where does it hurt the most right now? My lower back doesn't hurt that much, but here it aches and burns. It feels like someone's cutting me with a knife. When you lie down to sleep, which side hurts more? It used to be this side, but now the other side hurts more. When you walk, doesn't it feel like your thigh is being carved out? I can barely walk. It hurts so much. Your lower back condition is quite severe. Your spine should be straight, but it's significantly curved. The doctor pointed at the MRI with a pen. This is the MRI we just took. These square shapes are your vertebrae. This dark area is the cartilage, and here is where the nerves pass. Yes? See this bulging dark part? That's the disc pressing on the nerve. There's a major nerve and a minor one here, and this black area is the problem. It's completely blocked. So that's why. Yes. On the left side, 2 areas are completely blocked. That's why the pain is so severe. Oh, your spine is already quite twisted. Once we start treatment, more problems could arise in sequence. We'll try to reduce the pain as much as possible, without putting too much strain on your back. So what do we do? I told you the pathway is extremely narrow. We'll use something like a balloon to widen it. We can't just break it open. I see. Please, doctor, take good care of her. Please change into the gown and lie down here. When will the effects appear? For some people, immediately. For others, it may take a month. It varies. Doctor, please take good care of her. She changed into a gown and lay down. Her bent and twisted spine. Is there still hope left? The doctor put on a black vinyl apron and surgical gloves, standing like a grim reaper. He gripped a large syringe, while watching the nerve pathways on the X-ray monitor. Sang-wook's mother tightly shut her eyes. Sang-wook called his older brother, Young-wook. After returning from the hospital, the phone rang, but there was no answer. He called again, and again. After a long while, the call finally connected. Did you swallow your phone or something? Why aren't you picking up? Yeah, I was sleeping. What's up? What do you mean what's up? You can't even call first? What the hell are you saying? You call out of nowhere. We went to the hospital today. Mom's back is worse. Shouldn't the eldest son be paying some attention? I'm busy. You know I was sent out to catch tax evaders in the provinces. I know. But you rest on weekends, don't you? Last weekend I went all the way to Jeonsado, chasing a guy who evaded 130 billion won in taxes. Still, you could have called. Or taken a day off and come down. You see that tax task force on TV all the time, right? Try to understand. Understand? You just said, understand. You think I'm just some unemployed bum? I have a job too. Who said you don't? I'm a section chief at Amazonland, damn it. You little punk, how dare you talk to your older brother like that? Hong, stop talking nonsense and come down here. I'm juggling time too, taking Mom to the hospital and back. You're really pushing it, damn it. You're not coming because of Dad, right? Because he was labeled a communist. Because he was a North Korean spy. You're ashamed of our family, aren't you? That's not it. What's there to be ashamed of? I can see right through you. Jesus, you talk like crap. Isn't this something our entire nation has suffered through? All that war, bloodshed, pain between North and South. What's the crime in that? Is it our fault? It's the politicians screwing everything up. using ideology to divide people and tear everything apart. Why are you dragging history into this? The ones in power, north or south, they're all the same. They cling to power because it tastes sweet. Everyone bows their heads. If you were in their place, would you give it up? Power that the whole nation worships, would you let go of that? Damn it. I agree. Both sides are rotten. But nothing ever changes. Because of Dad's so-called espionage. I'm the one cleaning up after him. For the sake of our family. To keep him alive even a little longer. I know it's humiliating. What's humiliating? Is that really something to be ashamed of? Isn't it a tragic, painful scar carved into our history? A wound soaked in blood and tears? But that doesn't mean we should be proud of it. Did I commit a crime? Dad was just a victim of history. Then where is Dad now? Now you ask? You useless excuse for an eldest son. That bastard, I'll come down next time. For real. Don't just talk with that loose mouth of yours. Get down here and act like a human being. All right, I'll come after I finish this big case. I'm sorry. I'm hanging up. You're hanging up? Damn it. You can't even face Dad because you're ashamed. I took Mom to the hospital today. Start pulling your weight. Got it. I'll come down. I'm sorry. Hanging up. Don't hang up, you bastard. Didn't you learn filial piety is the foundation of all virtue? Click. The call ended. Damn it, having a brother like that drives me insane. Fuming, Sang-wook stormed out of the house. He got into his car and drove off without direction. He slammed the steering wheel in rage. Unable to calm down, he drove along a quiet national road. A sign pointing to Gimpo appeared. He crossed the bridge toward Gangwa Island and turned onto a secluded road. A sign read "Private property, no trespassing." A blue wire fence blocked easy access. After driving deep into the woods, a lone house appeared. Isolated. Hidden. The sound of dogs barking echoed in the distance. A man in a hooded tracksuit stepped outside. He crossed the stepping stones laid across the yard. Two black pit bulls bared their teeth, growling. The man's face remained unseen. From the corner of the yard, he pulled out thick, protective training gear made for dog handling. The sleeves were reinforced with heavy material. He took out several training tools. He brought one toward the pit bull's mouth. A metal pole stood in one corner. A rope hung from it, with a dog toy tied to the end. The pit bull leapt up and clamped onto it. Once it bit down, it never let go. It clung on with everything it had, training its jaw strength. When the dog latched on, the man flipped a switch. The device began spinning like a rotating disc. Despite the centrifugal force, the dog refused to let go. Next, the man fastened the leash tightly. Then, suddenly, his demeanor changed. He pushed and struck lightly with a long rod, provoking the dog. The pit bull's eyes burned red. Tension filled the air between man and beast. The dog snarled, teeth bared, muscles taut. It strained against the leash, ready to lunge. The man pulled back his hood, wiping sweat from his face. It was Sang-wook. "I'll tear everything apart, this damn world." Ending meant. Ending narration. Episode 24. The truth never disappears. It only waits for the right moment to surface. Tonight, the net is closing in. The bite marks have been matched. The evidence is undeniable. Blood type B, deformed teeth, a horizontal wrinkle across the forehead. The profile is complete. But as the investigation tightens its grip, another truth emerges from the shadows, a truth no one expected. Sang-wook, a dog trainer, a dutiful son, a man carrying a burden too heavy for one lifetime. My father was a North Korean spy. A confession that shatters everything. A family torn apart by history. A son forced to walk in his father's footsteps not by choice, but by survival. In a secluded house on Gangwon Island, pit bulls are trained. Eyes burning with rage. Jaws that never let go. And a man standing in the shadows, whispering to the darkness. "I'll tear it all apart, this damn world." Two paths are converging. The hunter and the hunted. The investigator and the avenger. And when they finally collide, nothing will remain the same. This is not just a spy thriller. This is a story about the price of loyalty, the weight of history, and the scars that nations leave on innocent lives. Beauty Spy War, a K-spy thriller based on Scorpio, a finalist of the second Proud Korean Screenplay contest, continues to unfold, one truth at a time. Next time, in episode 25, the lines between ally and enemy will blur even further. Secrets will be revealed, loyalties will be tested, and the shadow of the past will demand its reckoning. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and hit the like button. Your support keeps this story alive. Share your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think Sang-wook really is? What will happen when the truth comes to light? Thank you for listening. Stay with us, because the next truth will be even more dangerous. This has been Beauty Spy War. Until next time, stay vigilant.